G'day folks. Recently someone asked me to say something about this issue that they're having problems with Bulgaromani and out there talking about how we're really Bulgarian, which is arguably even more nonsensical than how we're really Greek positioned. But so be it. Some of us self-haters, and that's what people are. People who push the colonial era narrative of Bulgaria, Serbia and Greece are self-haters. No matter how sweet-talking they are, no matter how smart they think they are, no matter how much they've researched the bullshit, ultimately they hate themselves. Being Macedonian is not good enough for them. They want to be something else. And in this case, it was a Bulgaroman. So I'm going to address the Bulgarian question today. Firstly, let's get one thing straight, folks. A name, a nation's name, can come from any source whatsoever and can still be considered a credible name, a good name, like America. Hey, it's first name of a person, Amerigo. Australia, Terra Australis, the southern land. Most of us Americans and Australians, before we migrated here, had nothing to do with that part of the world, but we're still happy to be Australians, Americans, Canadians, whatsoever. But it's not just the settler nations that can have any names. I mean, let's look at the English. It's called England, and at the same time it's called Great Britain. But England, folks, is based on a Germanic tribe, the Angles, a kingdom created by them. Now, recently I read somewhere in Somerset they found a mummy or a bone skeleton, and it's like 10,000 years old, 12,000 years old, who knows how old. And the person, a local person, was a direct descendant of that person. So if they were there before the Angles and Saxons got to England, if we're going to be anal about it, and like the Greeks are and like the Bulgarians are, they have no right to call themselves English. He has no right to call, because he predates the English. Same thing with the French. I mean, France. What the hell? It's based on the name of a Germanic tribe, the Franks, who happened to create a kingdom, eventually took over the whole part of the world we now call France. But they don't even speak a Germanic language. They speak a Latin language. They have a German tribe as a name, but that's okay. And all these MFs out there, they're telling us what we are. Now the Bulgarians, let's look at the Bulgarian. Why are we Bulgarian? If we predate the Bulgarians, if the Bulgarians are not even of the Balkans but are invaders, how can we who have lived there before they invaded take upon their name as preference to calling ourselves the name of what that part of the world has been called since time immemorial, Macedonia? So the people have to understand. The nation states as we know them now, the first nation state in modern Europe arguably is France. Before that they were strictly kingdoms, and they were kings who often did not have any relationship to the people. So the Bulgarians came centuries after the so-called Slavic invasions, and we know that many of us don't have any Slavic DNA in us. We're all predate the Slavs. Some of us even predate the whole Indo-European mass migration, if that's all true. But to be Bulgarian, because we for a couple hundred years belonged to a empire established by a Turkic tribe, who were overlords, who spoke another language, who had another culture, another civilization. Now, for us to adopt them as our ethnic name is absolutely ridiculous. If that's going to be the case, we might as well call ourselves Turks, because the Turks were there 600 years. They too were like the Bulgarians, invaders, not of the Balkans. So we might as well call ourselves Romans. The Romans were there for over 1,000 years. So if being part of the Bulgarian kingdom means that we are Bulgarian, then we are also Italian, we are also Turkish, we are also whatever. But, folks, don't listen to all the bullshit. The reality is we are Macedonian. That's our primary link. Everything else is a secondary link. So all those Bulgarian, I know the one you're talking about. He's a weasel. He's a nothing. I don't know what the hell he is. Snapping at the side of our community, trying to convince us that he, a Bulgarian, is right about our history. That's bullshit. Folks, we are only that which we are related to. We are not related to the Bulgarians. If we were part of that whole Bulgarian kingdom, and if we are really Bulgarians, why didn't they liberate us when they liberated themselves? Same go with the Greeks, same go with the Serbs. Why is it that they don't liberate us? In fact, they colonize us. So we're not their brothers, we're not part. We are a sovereign nation of a people who are qualitatively different to all our neighbours. Simple as that. Don't let Bulgar money muddy the waters. Thank you, folks.